Hi there, welcome back to my channel After the Move. My name is Rona. If this is your first time joining me here, thank you so much for watching. If you are a return visitor, I do really appreciate your support. If you haven't yet subscribed, please do me a favor and click the subscribe button below. Share this with your family and friends who you know are interested in migrating to Canada but have no idea of what the process is. We go very detailed here, and every single person who watches these videos can get an understanding of what is required, at least for the Express Entry program. In our last video, we looked at the prerequisites for beginning the application process, and those prerequisites were: one, getting your IELTS exam done, and two, getting your credentials evaluated by WES. Now, I'm hoping that you got your credentials evaluated by WES and that you have maintained your degree equivalency at the levels that you had in your country, or maybe even gained a level. And I'm hoping that you passed your IELTS exam, getting at least a 7 in each area. Now, what do we do next? Now we're going to actually start the process. Aren't you excited? I'm so excited to show you how to actually get on to start this journey. All right, let's get to the meat of the matter. So the first thing that you're going to do is that you're going to Google submit an Express Entry profile. It should take you to a page that looks like this, and we're going to click on submit an Express Entry profile online form. Once you are on this page, you are going to be walked through the process. The process is going to be similar to that which you would have done when you use the calculator, but this is the official thing, because once you find out if you're eligible, as they say here, the tool will give you a number at the end, and this is a personal reference code. And this number is going to be used to move your information from the tool to your Express Entry profile. So it is important to note that at this stage, you actually have to have your results in hand. This is not something that you can win, right? So let us go and find out if you're eligible to apply. So they tell you on this page the different things that they will ask you about, and then you go and you click check your eligibility. All right. The first question that they ask is, which province or territory do you plan to live in? Now, if you don't know yet, you can just choose the province or territory that you're most interested in. Canada has many provinces, and the provinces vary based on their weather, based on the job availability for the different professions, based on the cost of living. So you can look into this. You may have to do some research into and decide which province you want to go to. You may even already have family living in Canada, so you know that you want to move to be near where your family lives or to live with family. You could put that. An important point to note, though, is that even if you put that you want to go to British Columbia, when you are actually invited and you get your document to land, as a permanent resident, you can basically live anywhere in Canada. You're not restricted to where you can go, but you need to put something on the form. So two of the most popular provinces are British Columbia and Ontario. So I'm just going to put Ontario on this list and click next. Now they're going to ask about your language scores. So this is why you would need to have your actual IELTS exam. So you have to tell them which test you did. They will ask you the different ones. So the options are the IELTS, the CEL, PIP, the TEF, or the TCF. Because we did the IELTS, we will click on that. And then they're going to ask, what year did you take that test, or what date rather did you take this test? Now, I'm going to put in some fictional dates because I didn't take the test. I'm just doing this for demonstration purposes only. Now, you have your actual results from your IELTS exam. So on the form that you get, everything that you need will be there. It will tell you the date of the test, and that is what you're going to put on the form. So we're just going to put 2022. We did it in December, and we did it on the 14th of December. So what are our test scores? This will also be on the paper that you were given. So we're going to say that we got an 8.5 in speaking, we got an 8 in listening, we got an 8 in reading, and we also got an 8 in writing. And then we're going to click next. Do you have other language results? If you are bilingual and you did a French exam, then you can put your TCF or TEF results here. But if not, you can say none. And then you click next. All right, in the next question they ask, in the last 3 years, how many years of skilled work experience do you have in Canada? Note, in Canada. They say it must have been full-time or an equal amount in part-time. Now, what they mean by an equal amount in part-time is that if you worked part-time for 2 years, that likely translates to 1 year of full-time work, right? So that's what they mean. So if it is that you have Canadian experience, you can input it here. But if you've never lived, worked, or studied in Canada, because you can work while you're studying, then you would put none. So if you do not have any work experience here, then the next question becomes relevant because they ask you what tier of the NOC do you have the most experience in, and they say if you do not have any Canadian work experience, please choose none of the above. So we're going to select none of the above and press next. So the next question is, in the last 10 years, how many years of skilled work experience do you have? It must have been continuous, paid full-time, or an equal amount in part-time and in only one occupation. Now let me break this down. So say, for example, you worked 6 months as an admin assistant, and then you worked 3 months as a retail sales associate, and you worked say another 6 or 8 months as a cashier or something like that, I don't know. That would not be eligible for this under the experience because it has to be in only one occupation. So if it is that you were an admin assistant for at least a year, or you were a chef for at least a year, or whatever your job role is, an accountant, or whatever your job role is, you have to have been in that position for at least a year. So the options that they give are none, less than 1, 2 to 3, 4 to 5, 6 or more. Now I'm going to say 2 to 3 years. The minimum is 1 year. So they say in the last 5 years, do you have at least 2 years of experience in one of the following qualified trades occupation that include occupational code 6220 or codes beginning with these numbers. Now, these are trade codes. So if it is that you're like an admin assistant, you work in an office, then this would not necessarily be for you. It might be for like production supervisors and stuff. When you did your NOC check, you would have actually seen what your NOC code was. Right? So you're going to say, if you have none, then you're going to say none. All right. How much money in Canadian dollars will you bring with you to Canada? Remember in a previous video that we did that we looked at the amount of money that is required. Now, if you know that you are coming alone, then that amount will differ than if you're coming with your child or your spouse. So ensure that you have at least the minimum amount that they require. It is good to aim to have a little bit more because they may change the requirements from time to time. Like I remember last year, there was a slight increase in the amount. And if you put the exact amount, then you might have to do some updating of your profile if things should change again. So you see, first of all, they say to you, if you have less than 13,310, it is not enough settlement funds. So say I'm coming with my child. So I'm going to say that I have 16,570 to $20,370. And then they ask, how many family members do you have? I'm going to say two. You are going to input how many family members you have because if you're coming with, say, your spouse and your kids, you have two kids, three kids, then that will be five of you, four of you. It depends on your unique situation. And the amount of money that you need varies based on your family situation. So before you put a figure here, be sure to ensure that you have adequate money to support your family for the time when you are coming in. Do you have a valid job offer in Canada? Now, based on your occupation, you may get a job offer before you migrate to Canada. You can look into applying for jobs. You may get lucky. And if it is that you do have, you can say yes. If you don't, then click no. They ask, what is your date of birth? So I've put in a fictional date of birth, which is 1993, March 30th. Then they ask, what is the highest level of education for which you have earned a Canadian degree, diploma, or certificate, or have had an educational credential assessment? No, the ECA must be from an approved agency in the last 5 years. No, you would have gotten back your results from WES, and based on what they would have said, you would have put that here. So I would say a master's or professional degree. If it is that you have a bachelor's, you can put that. I'm going to put a master's degree. Then I'm going to click next. So they say check all that apply. I have studied full-time in Canada for 2 years or more. I have at least 1 year full-time work experience in Canada. I have a relative in Canada who is 18 years or older, a citizen or permanent resident of Canada, and is my parent, child, grandparent, grandchild, sibling, aunt, uncle, niece, or nephew. And if it is that you don't have that, then you click none of the above. Then you click next. What is your marital status? No, I am never married, single, so I would put that, but the options are there, whether you're married, legally separated, divorced, annulled marriage, widowed, and common law. An interesting thing is that Canada actually recognizes common law unions. So if you have been with your spouse, I believe it is for 1 year, but you live together, or your partner rather, and you live together for 1 year, you can show that you guys coexist in the same space, whether you have utilities in your names at the same address, then you can prove that you're in a common law union. You can look up how that goes, but you don't have to be married per se to migrate with your partner to Canada. And then your results, they're going to give you a personal reference code. This personal reference code is unique to you. So they will transfer the information from this reference code directly into your Expressentry profile. Now, as I said, this is just for demonstration purposes. I don't believe that I'm going to go and submit an actual Expressentry profile because that's somebody's future that we would be manipulating. But what I will do is that I will try to see if I can get into my old profile and show you the steps from there. I don't know how possible that is, but it is pretty straightforward. So we will look into that next week as we have really digested a lot today. So you can read here. You would have to register. Be sure to record the code that you receive, your personal code, because once you put that in, then all of the information that you would have put before, they'll just pull that information. So it saves you time filling out the actual profile. Okay. Thank you for sticking it out with me till the end. I do hope that you find the information useful. In our next video, we will be looking at how to actually complete the Express Entry profile. And then after that, we'll be looking at what to do when you get an invitation to apply. So we're going in depth in the process. And then after that, we will go into more life after the move. We're going to be talking to some people, getting some feedback, hearing my own views. What I'm going to be sharing what my experience thus far has been, having just survived winter. So stay tuned. You don't want to miss it. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share this video. See you in the next one.